Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Edna and today I'm filming a Q&A. I talked about it in my last video that I really wanted to do a Q&A because we're about to hit 2,000. Maybe by the time you see this, we will have passed 2,000. And if we haven't, then send this video to your tias, your abuela, your sisters. Have them subscribe so the family can keep on growing. And we always have good videos, so they're definitely gonna be entertained. Let's go ahead and start with the questions. So, question number 1, how is it being a cat mother? If you don't know, I adopted a 14-year-old cat a few months ago. I believe it's been 4 months now. And he is the love of my life. Like, me trae tanta luz, tanto amor. I love him so much. But there are moments where he is a child, essentially. Like, yesterday I came home and he had thrown up on my bed. So I'm not gonna lie, it's not amazing. There's definitely moments, but I guess it comes with becoming a fur parent. I'm a single mother out here, so, you know, we're making it work. Once or twice a month he'll hiss at me if I like pick him up at the wrong time because I think I smother him, pero I love him so much. So you know what, we're making it work. I'm pretty sure he's gonna live another 50 years because all he does is sleep and eat. There's like not a lot of stress going on in his life, so I think he's gonna live forever. Next we have, how is the business planning going? So I have mentioned in a few videos that I want to start a small business. I haven't really talked about what it is, but I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of planning, and so right now we're in the beginning stages of things, right? I haven't ordered anything per se, but my Amazon cart is full, and this weekend we're gonna hit up the flea market to try to find some tools so that I don't have to buy everything brand new. The thing that I'm specifically looking for is a pasta maker. It's not gonna be food, but you use a pasta maker to make this thing, like, to make things like softer and more like malleable, I guess. So that's what we're gonna be doing. But I've been thinking about a name. Maybe I should just tell you what it is. I kind of want it to be a surprise, and I also want like to have made a few of them before I actually tell you what it is. But I've been thinking of a name, and then I was like, okay, do I want to like put Bay in it in some way, because you know I'm here in the Bay Area and it like rhymes, right, with the product that I'm gonna be making. But tell me why every time I think of a name, there's already like 5 or 10 on Instagram. So I need to get really creative. Maybe I'll just come on here and tell you guys what I'm gonna be making, and maybe you can help me out to pick a name. But it's rough, girl. It is rough, and I don't want to go with the traditional like Edna creations. Like, first of all, I don't think my grandma ass name goes with anything, so I don't know, but maybe I'm gonna end up turning to you guys for help. This one's from Instagram. Who got you into vlogging like you do? I think I would say my friends, because I started making more sit-down videos in the beginning of my YouTube career. So a lot of hauls and some makeup, and the whole makeup situation was not my vibe. It's so hard for me to like get in here and get different angles, and like, you know, like I don't even feel like I do makeup that well tampoco, so I just didn't feel it. And then some of my friends would always say like, girl, you're always getting yourself into hot, messy situations. Why don't you vlog? Or whenever I went anywhere, right, like traveling, even here, like traveling up to the city to San Francisco, like it's fun to vlog it. Or what I realized is that sometimes you guys also enjoy random everyday vlogs, like running errands or going to get groceries or whatever. And even though they get less views, I enjoy vlogging a lot more than sit down videos, just because it feels more natural. It's so much easier to edit, and it's easy, right, to just be yourself, and then you have content and you're good. Like, no, there's not that much planning that goes into it. Like, obvio, you do have an idea of what you're gonna do during that day, but it's not like crazy planning like you do with the sit down video, or like you're doing research or whatever. So I would say it's a combination of things. A little bit of seeing some of my favorite vloggers like Alicia Marie and Stacy Diaz, I really like too. Seeing them and how they show their lives, and feedback I got from you guys, and just it being easier on the schedule, I think is what prompted me to vlog like this. Next question is, what's your biggest fear or anxiety about 2022? Ooh, girl, there's a lot to unpack there. So I do have so many fears, right? And I think I talked about it like 2 or 3 videos ago, because the last 2-ish months I've been feeling stressed and anxious, and there's just a lot going on in life, and I feel like if something's not happening to me, something's happening to my friends, or something's happening to my family, and like is just like upsetting, right? And I realized that like I'm more of an empath, and so I feel things so much deeper than like your average person. So obviously I have to set boundaries and not let myself get too emotional about other people's situations. There's a few things that I haven't really been happy with recently, and I think I've come to the realization I need more flexibility. For example, like work. I think I want a more flexible my child just sneezed. Sorry. But I think I need a more flexible schedule, right? So that's something that I need to contemplate. Like, there's options. I can get shorter hours at work, but then that's going to cut into my pay. I can try to get like a second job. Like, there's things I need to figure out. But I think my biggest fear is staying in a situation that I am not happy with and not making moves to like figure that out. Like with work, for example, I don't want to be stuck in a place just because I need a paycheck. I'm also scared of like rushing into something, right, without really knowing what I'm getting myself into. So for example, if I switch jobs, would I enjoy the new job? Like, is it gonna be everything and anything that I'm thinking it will be? And things at work have been getting so much better. So like, should I not make that jump? Should I? If I switch, I'll probably take a pay cut, you know, so it depends. But I think my motivation and passion to, you know, lead a happy life is so much stronger than that fear. So I'm constantly doing things to try to alleviate any changes that I would do. So I don't know, I'm like super, I don't know, I'm scared and anxious about a lot of things. One of them being work. But you know, I do think that I am consistently like trying my best to make it a better situation for myself, and then weighing out my options también. So I think right now in my life there's definitely like anxiety and fear about my professional development, my education, like what's the next step, like what ways can I promote or like move on up. So, you know, things related to that. But I did want to share this. I took a screenshot right after I got that question. On Instagram, someone posted, I think on the Jefa Life, they posted, the best career advice you will ever receive will come from you. Trust your intuition. It's trying to tell you something. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. Pero obvio, like playing it safe for a little bit. But I just don't want to be in the same situation at the end of the year, if that makes any sense. I have 3 questions from Steve. Shout out to Steve. He used to be my meme friend, and then we were no longer meme friends. It's hard, you know, like a veces things happen. But okay, so he asked, wait, did I not take a screenshot of his? Let me go back. So his first question is, what's the chisme? There's a lot of chisme, dude. There's a lot of chisme. So one of my beautiful coworkers is actually dating Steve, and I'm sure she gives him plenty of chisme. But some chisme he may not have heard is that someone I used to date, he's a comedian, and he is actually going to be opening at San Jose Improv for a few comedians coming up. So that's really cool. Good for him. But some chisme was that he kept on reaching out to me even when things didn't work out, right? And, you know, at first I thought, like, maybe we could be friends. But then the more a guy reaches out, the more you're like, nah, never mind, we can't be friends. So eventually I told him I was talking to someone because no me estaba haciendo caso. And so the guy I'm talking to right now, we had just started talking, pero me volteé y le dije al comedian that, hey, I'm talking to someone, so, like, it's just not, like, it's not cool that you keep messaging me like this. Tell me why this man turns around and he's like, oh, why don't you bring him to one of my shows? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? At first I was like, does he want to scope him out? Like, what is going on with this? Like, why would he even bring this up? This is so weird. But then when I told my brother's like, well, obviously he doesn't care about you like that. Obviously it's more of a, he wants fans and supporters, and he cares about the numbers. Like, he wants people showing out. He wants people showing up to his shows and like supporting and whatnot. And I was like, okay, but it was still a little weird, you know? There's been a few other weird situations. You only get this one chisme for now. Also from Steve is the food you need to give up but won't. I did want to mention he has Steve also has a YouTube channel, so I'll link it down below because I know he is very supportive even though we aren't meme friends anymore. So I want to be supportive as well. But anyways, to answer the question, something that I won't give up even though I'm on keto. I can actually have it on keto, pero a veces me paso, obvio. And have you guys had hot Cheetos with cream cheese? I know I know, girl. The best ones are the baked ones, the baked hot Cheetos. And so I believe one serving of hot Cheetos is like 15 grams of carbs, and I'm able to have 50 in one day. So what I try to do is I try to be really good during the day so that around dinner time I can have my chips. And yes, it's been hard. I try real hard sticking to chicharrones because it satisfies that craving of chips and it gets crunchy and whatnot, and it doesn't have carbs, but obvio it's hard. So yeah, hot Cheetos with cream cheese is something that I've been loving, and I don't really eat spicy, so for me, like, I feel so proud of myself when I'm over here eating the hot Cheetos. But I think the cream cheese dilutes the chile a little bit, because people are like, don't you add more hot sauce, don't you add limon, blah blah blah, and people forget I'm not Mexican, so I wasn't even raised like that. So I actually prefer my hot Cheetos with cream cheese, not with tapatio, not with limon, or any of the other stuff that people add. Nah, girl, I'm good. And you know what? Don't knock it till you try it, because you might end up really liking it. It might be addicting. Next question is, how do you make that cheese tortilla? So I have a small hand. What I do is I get a bag of mozzarella cheese and I just grab un puño, the shredded mozzarella cheese, and then I dump it into the comal. It's super easy, but I will say this about the cheese tortillas: it's so much fat that it can be overwhelming y no te vas a poder acabar más de una o dos. So just watch out with that. What I would do is maybe like you make your cheese tortilla and just rip it up and mix it into the food that you're gonna have, because it might be too much. Like, something I've noticed on keto is I'll eat smaller portions because the amount of fat in the food can sometimes be overwhelming. But that's kind of what keto is, right? It's like fat heavy and like super low on carbs. But yeah, that's essentially it. Another Instagram question was, what happened to your trainer? So I actually did used to go to a trainer. His name's Fidel. He works at, I think, War Fitness. I'll also link them down below. Fidel was amazing. He was very straight up with me though. He told me that I didn't need the personal training, but more than anything, like, probably the group classes would be helpful for me, because there would be a big group of women, and there's a lot of support, and you know, a lot of them were getting really good results. But at that time when I was seeing Fidel, I wasn't eating well, so it seemed like such a waste of money, which he wasn't a waste of money. I truly believe that physical trainers are such an amazing investment, but if you're not at the right place, girl, it's not gonna work. So for me, I just mentally, I wasn't fully there, like fully prepared. The workouts were amazing. He was really good, but I was eating so much shit on the side that I just was not seeing results, and I wasn't going to, right? I think for me, I needed to hit a place where that I recently hit was when I hit my heaviest weight, and then I was not fitting into my clothing. So that like really changed things up for me. And I didn't go see him that many times tampoco. Probably like 5 or 6 times. So it wasn't like it was a long period of time. Probably 5 or 6 times, maybe less than that. But you know, he was really good. Pero now me da vergüenza to go back to him, because I've already like left him like I think once or twice, and yeah, no, shame on me, shame on me. Yvonne from YouTube asked, could you do a video on self-care? Of course, girl, of course I can. What I can do is do a video on a few different things that I do for self-care. Even though I don't usually do all of those at once, but just so you guys get ideas and whatnot. Also from YouTube, I got Finura here, who asked, will you ever go back to law school or another grad school? How are you feeling about school? How are you feeling about more school at the moment? I still want to go back to law school. Ahorita I applied to a master's in social work. I haven't heard back. Ya se están tardando. I'm getting a little nervous because it is taking a while, so I'm thinking that maybe I didn't get in. Obvio, maybe there was a lot of applicants, but I'm guessing I was either waitlisted or I'm not gonna get into the program, which is okay, because I found out that the program I applied to, initially I thought that as a county employee I would get it paid for under something called Title 4E, which if you work for a social service agency in any county, I would highly recommend that you look into it, because essentially you get your master's for free, and then afterwards you do 2 years of service in the county, and then you're free. You can go somewhere else or you can stay there. And I think a lot of people that enjoy the work will just stay, and you know, it is what it is. But I actually don't work for a social service agency. I do work for the county, but in a different department and it doesn't qualify. So if I don't get in, my plan is to reapply next year, try to transfer into a social service agency and reapply with a stronger application, and this time around I would be able to get it paid for. I think right now my concern is that if I do get in, I'm gonna have to pay out of pocket. I'm not gonna take any more loans because I do have loans from law school, so that'll be something I have to weigh in, right? Because student loan payments will eventually restart, and then having to pay that MSW will probably be like $500 to $1,000 a month, depending. I would do a part-time program, so I'm not 100% on the payments, but money is definitely something that I am considering, because if I go back to school, I want to pay as I go. I don't want loans unless I've already bought a home, but I don't see myself buying a home for like another 3 years, you know? So there's a lot going on. But yes, to answer your question, I do want to go back to law school, but I want to get that master's first. And then if I apply to the master's once or twice and I don't get in, then I'll just start prepping for law school and reapply, and we're good. But the way things are going, I do see myself having kids and like starting a family before I go back to law school, which is totally fine. Like, now I'm not in a rush, girl. Like, the older you get, the more you realize like shit's not going anywhere. Law school will always be there. Like, siempre van a estar ahí, and there's not like a big issue with like having to rush into it, you know, which I feel like was a mistake I did in the past. Last but not least is, can you make more apartment hunting videos? And how's the apartment search going? Are you still moving? So that's a few different questions. That'll be the last of it for this video. I can definitely go look at apartments. I'll ask my bestie and see when she's available so we can go look at apartments. But I don't see myself moving anytime soon, because even though I've started making side income from like different things like Poshmark and YouTube and whatnot, it's still not enough to generate 25 to 50% more of my income. And I've done the math. I really want to live by myself, and the apartments are like $2,000 to $2,300 depending, and that's with getting like deals that they have going on, like they'll give you 4 weeks for free or 8 weeks for free. So it's still really, really expensive. Donde estoy ahorita, I'm paying $1,100, so I would essentially double my housing cost, and I haven't doubled my income. I've definitely spent time looking at how much I make, looking at my monthly expenses and my debt and whatnot. Right now, if I left, I would just be tight, and that's not the life I'm trying to live. No one's kicking me out. Right now, we rent a house together as a family, and you know, there's other people living here. And it's not like the greatest area, but tampoco it's not the worst. So I'm not, you know, I'm not unhappy. I just really, really wanted to move out. So but I don't see it happening this year unless like my income really, really changes, you know, in the next few months. And then, like I mentioned earlier, if I end up having to pay for the master's as I go, I just don't think it'll be feasible for me to pay for grad school out of pocket and also be paying my own apartment. But I do know that getting the master's would definitely help boost my income. But I think right now the focus is more on figuring out how to diversify my income, my passive income, and figuring out what I want to do with savings, right? Like, do I want to invest, or do I want to just like sit on it for a while? Or is it going to end up paying for grad school? Like, there's a lot of things that I need to figure out, and I'm only one person. So if I had if I was in a relationship where like we've been together for a while and we're going to move out and live together, that's a dual income, right? There, things will change, and like we have a whole new set of options. Pero ahorita, it's literally just me and Monito, my cat, and he is not bringing in any income. As cute as he is un huevón el güey. So he doesn't have a job. He's not even making money on social media ni nada. He hasn't blown up. So if you haven't already, please follow him on Instagram, because we need to start monetizing. I'm gonna have to make Monito like an only pause account, because it's rough out here, you guys. And me salió carrito el güey. I don't think I mentioned this, but he actually had an allergic reaction to regular cat food because he used to live at a clinic for so long, for like 14 years of his life. So I have to buy him prescription food, or the hair on his little ears falls off, which is like crazy to think about. But yeah, to answer your question, I would love to move. I really would, but I'm just being more realistic, you know? And when we went to go look at apartments, I was so excited, obvio, but seeing the prices definitely like humbled me, because I was like, yeah, I am not making money like this to pay $2,500 just in housing and the expenses that come with that. And I will say this, disclaimer, I could move out now with roommates, right? Like I could go rent a room or rent a house and get 1 or 2 other roommates, but that's not my personal goal. Like I think I would only do that if I had to. Everything's good right now, so I'm not in a rush to move right now. But if I could, girl, if I could, I would move tomorrow. Let's go. But I just don't want to move anywhere, you know? And I want it to be a cute apartment y toda la cosa. And something else that I thought about was, okay, well, if I stay here another year or 2, then maybe I can start putting the difference, right, into a separate account. And that could be money that I use to put down as a down payment later on. So we'll see. Right now, there's lots of options. There's a lot of things going on. Pero the main focus right now will be to boost my income, start making more money consistently, right? And then we'll see how things are at the end of the year. But I think I should consistently make 3 times what I'm making now to comfortably afford to live on my own. And that's a lot of money, girl. So I will keep you updated. If I move, you will for sure know about it. But that is actually all the questions that I got. If you have any other burning questions, don't worry, you can DM me, you can comment down below. I'm gonna try to do these probably like every few months or something. I just specifically noticed that we're about to hit 2,000, so I'm like, let me do a little get to know me, a little Q&A, so we can have little moments, and you know, like you guys get even more chisme from me, even more info than what I already put out there. But yeah, this was really fun because I was surprised with some of the questions, and you know, some of them I kind of expected. So thank you so much if you sent me a question, whether it was on DMs, on YouTube, or on Instagram. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you liked the video too. But with that said, I'll end the video here. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Mwah. Mwah. Oh, Grumpy Face. Say hi, Grumpy Face. Hi, everyone. Hi.